obviously Dayton played a great game, got off to a great start. We were probably making some uncharacteristic plays, specifically the turnovers a little bit, throwing the ball out of bounds, throwing the ball in the backcourt. Missed some easy layups around the rim, not necessarily easy, but missed some layups that we would typically make. And so we got off to a tough start offensively, but the defense kind of hung in there. And we began to get stops. And then all of a sudden we were able to get up the court a little bit and made some good plays in transition and just tighten the game a little bit, play after play. Had a chance, to take the lead on the last, second to last possession there. And obviously didn't get a quality look there. But then we're able to get a stop on the next play going into halftime. And so, generally speaking, we felt pretty good, given the way that we had played, that it was only a 1-point game. Could have been a lot worse. And so the guys were motivated coming out of halftime to play better. And I thought we began to pass the ball, a lot better in the second half and move it. And we were able to get some advantages going to the rim, and it was really back and forth, throughout the second half, until the very end. Our defense wasn't what it needed to be down the stretch. You have to get stops down the stretch, and we fouled. We gave up an offensive rebound layup. Just some key plays. Post up on a switch, and then all of a sudden, a double and a layup. We weren't executing on that side of the ball in this particular game, certainly in the second half. Gave up 2 threes, to Latang, early in that second half, which certainly was not, part of our game plan. But you have to credit Dayton. I mean, they did a nice job of, when they were up against it late in the clock, of making plays. Whether it was long shots, on down to Bennett's shot, at the end where Max fouled him. That wasn't the only one. There were several, that they did a nice job of just getting it through the hoop and put a lot of pressure on us. Our guys did a nice job of fighting back, at the end of the game and making it a game. And, it's hard to do that. It's hard to get it back to, where we have an opportunity to tie the game with 15 seconds from where we were coming from. So really a good job by our guys, doing that. They just kind of willed it and kept playing hard and gave themselves a chance all the way down to the end, for Max's last attempt there. But disappointing ending for us. Certainly we wanted to play better, tonight than we did, but Dayton had a lot to do with that. And so now we've got to move on to the next one.
What did you miss most without Phil tonight?
I mean, Phil brings an intensity on the ball. There's no question about it. His shooting, his ball handling. He brings a lot to this team, and there's a reason, that we've won 25 games, but certainly not an excuse. All right, for us, we had every opportunity to win this game, and didn't do it. Didn't get the job done. And I thought Terrence and Brandon, Terrence hadn't played in forever, and he looked very comfortable out there, in that first half for sure, and gave us a lift. And Brandon certainly played well, and so I was proud of those two guys. But Phil will be back. It wasn't a situation where he could play tonight.
Coach, 19 offensive rebounds, 16 second chance points. Was that a big part of getting back into this game?
Yeah, there's no question. We only got 5 points in the first half, and we had 10. And so we were a little bit concerned about that. We've got to be better converting when we get offensive rebounds, and whether it's kicking it back out and finding opportunities or being, strong near the rim and going back up. But it's always a focal point for us.
What do each of the guys that were honored on senior night before the game mean to you in this program?
Say that one more time.
What do each of the guys that were honored on senior night
Yeah.
before the game mean to you and this program?
Yeah, I mean, you start with Phil. He was the first one to come out. Like Phil, took a chance, and came here with Max returning, and he was all in. He was really excited to have the opportunity to play in front of these fans and play at VCU, and be a part of our family. And he's been amazing to coach. I'm excited that we get to continue to coach him, here in the conference tournament and beyond. And just really excited that he chose us. He's been a lot of fun to be around. He makes us laugh every single day. And Jack's the quiet one, but Jack's fit right in with our team. And he's been so impactful. Both of them have. When you think about today's game and the transfer portal and all of that, to be able to have the balance of the freshmen that we have, that are playing for us right now, and then those two guys coming in and really making our team better. Jack, is playing his best basketball right now, which is what you want, at the end of your career. And he's a lot of fun to be around as well. He's found a home here at VCU. And then Joe, Joe's special. I love Joe. And he's a joy to coach. He's a joy to talk to off the court. He's gotten so much better, in these last 2 years. And so that part has been really fun for our coaching staff to watch him grow. He came in as just really a three-point shooter and kind of a scorer there, and now he's efficient, gets to the basket, can score twos, can make passes for assists, certainly can make shots. He's always been able to do that, and there's never a bad day, with Joe, and that's the mark of a true guy with character, and he cares about his teammates, he cares about his coaches, cares about VCU, and for him to have the ending that he's had in these last 2 years, given the unfortunate start, been well documented, kind of his journey, and had stuff at each spot, where he needed to find a new place, and for him to settle here at VCU and at home, and to be loved like he is. I mean, you heard the crowd, cheering not only for him but for the other guys too. I mean, it's special.
Right, 5 for 30 beyond the arc.
Yeah.
Good looks, or?
There certainly were some, yeah. I mean, there's certainly some that we would say, oh, okay, boom, yeah, you need to take that one. There's a couple that we would say, all right, maybe we can get inside the defense a little bit better before we take that one.
Coach, you guys had a good game, but I'm really curious to know, or can you describe the play selection you have when we get super close at the end like that, it's a few seconds left, 2-point game. What plays do you have available? And how do you
I got 8,000 plays. That's the problem. I have way too many. No, it's all about trying to get, especially when the time is, you don't have a lot of time, to work with. The defense knows what you have to do, at that point. And it gets harder, as you get later in the game. But I thought our guys, did a nice job, down the stretch of playing really fast, and getting some quality looks and then getting some offensive rebounds, putbacks. Joe blew it up the court, that one time and literally, got a layup there, dunk or whatever it was. And so proud of the guys' execution down the stretch, but it just wasn't enough.
Did you think they'd foul?
We thought they probably would because they've shown both. Yeah, they've shown both, and we go back years, to look at it in terms of what coaches do. So I watch, before every game, I sit in the locker room and watch they clip it out for me, so I know kind of what to expect at the end of a game.
Coach, did you see any reaction from Max, and did you have any reaction to the Ukrainian flags in the crowd tonight in support of him?
Yeah, I mean, it's just tremendous. It's what our fans do, right? They support their own, and obviously, Max has had to deal with a lot, and this is not necessarily support, the war or any of that. It's more about Max, right, and what he's dealing with and his family are dealing with. And it's not really a political thing. It's more a family thing. And he's in constant contact, like we talked about last week, with his parents, and just really excited that we've been able to spend this time together, and that he's has a VCU family that really cares about him, and really appreciative of the folks that made an effort to honor him.
How much, if at all, do you listen to all
To what?
How much at all do you listen to the bubble chatter?
Oh, the bubble? Not at all. Yeah, I mean, we just have to win games, right? You just keep trying to win as many as you can. And I think this team's done enough, to warrant being considered, to be in the NCAA tournament. There's no doubt 25 wins in the regular season. That's a lot of wins. And this is a really good conference. And, certainly, this team has been very, very consistent. And I think you put us on a neutral court, this team can play with any team. And but that's ultimately that's not for me or anyone else to decide other than that selection committee. And we'll honor whatever they decide if it comes to that. But we've finished the regular season, and we have a championship, number 1 seed, and now we've got to turn our attention to play in 3 days in DC. And really, you can't play 3 unless you play 1, and you play 1 really well and get to the next one. And so we know we're going to have a quality opponent. We don't know who it is just yet, but we'll find out in the next day and get to work.
You've been on both ends of this in terms of when you won at UMBC at Vermont, and they were the number 1 seed. You go into this event as the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you need to win the tournament or you don't need to win the tournament, but what's the mindset going into it? I mean, you've seen, like I said, you've done this from you've done this for both ends.
Yeah, it's no different. We were the number 1 seed in COVID as well, that year. And both 1 and 2 lost. It just happens. And these tournaments, are fun. That's why they're fun. And teams are playing for that bid, and all young people want to be a part of that, the greatest show in sports. And there's a lot on the line. And for us, we're going to approach it the same way we do every game that we play. We're just going to prep and get ready, and then we're going to play our game. When we get there, we're going to compete, to the best of our ability, and hopefully come out with a win, and then move on to the next one and do it again. And that's what this team's done all year. And we've lost 6 times, and every one of them, I think, how many did we win in a row just now? 10 or something? 9? Yeah, I mean, it's like we're blessed, to be where we're at right now. And for us, it's all about turning the page, move on to the next thing. We can't control what just happened, and it's focus on the tournament.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.